Hello, my name is Cherwinski, and today I will be talking to you about sales managers and what their duties are as a sales manager. To begin, I would like to tell you what my definition of a sales manager is. A sales manager is someone that directs and leads a team in order to be as efficient as they possibly can be. The main word I used there was leads. In my personal opinion, I feel that sales managers need to be leaders rather than managers. Because from personal experience, I feel that when someone is a manager, they feel like they are just the boss and they're just in control of people instead of leading by example and leading for the better of their employees. So a main thing that sales manager needs to do is be leaders. And I have interviewed three sales managers that I personally know, and I feel that they make great managers and leaders as well. My first person I'd like to begin with works for Michael's Arts and Craft. He is a store manager there. His name is Don Cherwinski. I'd like to give you a little bit of background on what Michael's Arts and Crafts is. It's an arts and crafts specialty store. It's the largest in North America, and they have about roughly 1,300 stores in between America and in Canada. They offer a very wide range of arts and crafts. They also have custom framing, custom floral. They also have home decor and specialty classes such as like knitting. There's like fine arts, there's a quilting class, and other things like that to spike up some creativity. The second person that I have interviewed was Sadie Sonato. She works for Target and she is an executive team leader, which is like a higher end manager, but they call them leaders, which I actually prefer. Target is an upscale discount retailer, and they have about 18,000 stores in the United States. And they offer a wide range of just everyday essentials such as like soaps and shampoos, stuff like that, and home decor. They also offer fashionable merchandise such as athletic wear, shoes, baby clothes, and all types of things like that. And they also have some food assortments as well. I know some Targets actually are becoming like a super Target where they actually have like a lot of groceries and things like that. And my final interviewee was Brittany Robichaud, and she works for Aldi. Aldi is a leading global discount supermarket chain, and they have 9,600 stores in 18 separate countries, so they are international. And they offer a generic group of groceries that are all discounted. And they also have fresh produce and fresh meats and some different home goods as well. And Brittany Robichaud is actually a district manager. And to begin, I did a survey and an interview with all three of these people, and I asked them several questions, and we'll go over these questions now. The first question was, what are their responsibilities as a sales manager? Don talked about how he hires and directs a staff of 30 to 40 people on a regular basis. Sadie also said that she pleases guests and she manages a team and is accountable for like the store standards such as like what they sell and like if they need to sell more of something, like she's in charge of that as well. And Brittany, being a district manager, she is in charge of recruiting, training, and overseeing like the stores that she is in charge of, like making sure they're up to quality and doing everything they need to do in order to be the most efficient they can be. The second question was what their employees' responsibilities are. Don said that he has 5 different categories. You can either work in replenishment, which is stocking, like before all the customers get there, stocking and cleaning and making sure the store is up to par, or you can be on the sales floor, which is like you're walking around assisting customers, or you can be a cashier, which is obviously like making sure that the customer had a good stay, found everything they were looking for, or you can be a framer or a florist designer, which you customize people's orders and artwork and what they want, or he also has different managers, like his assistant managers, like he has his closing manager, and then he has his like morning manager with him, and his framing manager, and managers like that. Sadie said that she has team leaders, but she's an executive team leader, and the people that report to her are her team leaders, her guest services team leaders, which are kind of like the sales floor people that Don has, and then they have the cafe team that reports to her as well. And then Brittany, being a district manager, she said she has like direct leaders that report to her, and then the store managers of her stores report to her, and then she also has their sales associates of all of the stores that she's in charge of as well. If they do have an issue, they do report to Brittany as well. Their next question was, how do they go about hiring their employees? Don says that you can go online to michaels.com, and they have like a survey you fill out, and like you can submit your resume that way. And they also use a document called People Answer. And People Answer is like the surveys that they have. It like generates like how their emotions are, and if they get on a high scale of that, then they're going to want to definitely hire them and get them in for an interview to follow that. Sadie said they apply as well online, such as Don's does, and they have interviews to follow, and it's just different like for higher end, like say if they're applying to be a manager, they have like a phone interview, and then they have an interview actually in the store with several different managers to make sure that's up to par. Or they also have like just like if they're just applying to be a cashier or something, it's just an inside interview right away, and it's a little bit of a shorter process. And Brittany said that they hire their employees based on like walk-in interviews. She prefers those, like to actually see the customer. They can apply online as well. And then Ollie also goes to like job fairs like that and hiring events, and then they have interviews to follow. Their second question when asked was, how do they train their employees? Don said that when they hire their employees, they come and they do an online training activity, and that probably lasts about an hour, he said. And then from there, they're scheduled for like shorter period hours. Like say they're going on cashier, they'll go and supervise on a cashier that's been there for a while, that knows like how to assist them, and they like oversee them for about an hour. And then after, their roles switch and they begin to be the cashier, and they like are assisted. And then I think it's after a couple of, I forgot what he said, a couple of times on the cash register, once they like are fully like comfortable with it, then they are let off of being assisted, and then they just have the radio that they can walkie-talkie over and ask if they have any questions from there on out. Sadie said they train their employees. They come to an orientation that lasts about an hour or two, and that there are leaders in there, their team leaders in there that directs and tells them the whole thing about Target. And then they give them what their jobs are going to be, and then they do like a walk around the store to get acquainted with it. And Sadie also started doing something that's called Service Academy, which is every 90 days, and every employee has to go to one. And it's just basically new things that they learn and they want people to become accustomed to so they can be the best employee they can be. And then Brittany said she trains her employees by having like mentors, like Don does as well. Like they like help them, making sure they understand what they're doing, and they go through workshops and in-store training. And they also have a computer-based training as well, which they sit on the computer and learn the roles and everything like that. The next question asked was the sales strategy they have for their company. Don said at Michaels their biggest strategy is to offer outstanding customer service and expand promotional opportunities. Like their big promotional opportunities they have is through their email capture, and that's when like the customer comes through the cash register line, the employees will ask them for their email, and they'll send out like promotions and coupons to get those customers to come back. Sadie said hers was to provide amazing customer service as well as Don's was, and to grow and generate sales for the future of Target. And Brittany says to maximize sales and minimize expenses. So as you can see, that's pretty normal strategy for these three companies, is definitely to get their revenues up, and no one wants to exceed their expenses as well. Their next question asked was the leadership of the company/store. Don said that within a store they have the store managers, and then they have the assistant, and then they have the associate. So normally the associate will go to the assistant manager and then to the head manager, but really all the managers are supposed to like intermingle and help with all problems. And he also said for the company they do have their like larger chain of people, which are the corporation is actually in Texas, and from there they have like their board of directors and people like that are overseeing the company as a whole. And Sadie said that she has her team leader, and from there, or the store team leader, and from there is the executive team leader, which she is. Then it goes to team leader and the team member. A team leader is just basically someone that, like, it just step by step they oversee each person and they report to each of their operations. And, like, say the team member will report to the team leader and yada yada. And then Brittany's was a little hard because at Aldi, I guess they have a policy where they're not supposed to discuss how their leadership is done. So the most she could really tell me was, like, they have, like, their district manager, their store manager, and then they have their associates as well, such as, like, their cashiers and their salespeople. The next question asked is what the sales forecast, how do they, like, predict their sales forecast at their stores. Don said they based it on last year's performances and how the sales and advertising trends are for them. And then Sadie's also was the company and the store trends, because even though, like, the company as a whole could have a good trend, say selling a certain type of soap, it might be different ranging in different stores. Like, Sadie's could not sell as well, so then they would adjust their sales trend for them. And she said they do anywhere from, like, a 3-month trend to a yearly trend, so it's really just depending on, like, this time of the year and, like, the seasons, definitely. And Brittany said they do base their sales forecasts on internal and external forecasts, such as, like, the weather outside. Like, if it's gloomy, they're not going to have as good of sales as they normally do, or, like, their competitors have, like, a better deal or something like that. And she also said that they do take in consideration of the previous year's sales and the sales trends as well, just as the other two interviewees said as well. And another question I asked them was, how do they motivate their employees? Because obviously that's, like, a big thing, because every employee wants to feel like they're there for a reason. And Don said that they do recognition, coaching, and leading by example. They recognize people by, like, telling them, like, good job over the intercom, or they have, like, an associate of the month. And then they also have it's like a little, like, stick it note where you, like, stick, like, what they did good for the day, like, oh, thanks for helping with shipment this week, and, like, post it on the board for everyone to see. So that's really nice that everyone will be involved with that and be like, oh, wow, good for them. And Sadie said that she loves to recognize people, either it's verbally or physically, because Sadie really likes to, like, talk to people and make sure they know that they're doing a great job, or if they're doing, like, a bad job, she likes to coach through that. And she says that she likes to actually go up and ask people how they like to be recognized, because everyone's different. Some people like to be verbal, some people don't like everyone to know, and some just like a pat on the back. And then Brittany said she likes monetary incentives, the incentive system, where, like, the managers get bonuses based on how, like, their store is, or, like, how much revenue they're bringing in, and then the employees get rewarded based on what the district manager would like, because it all just depends on the person and how they would like to give rewards, such as, like, Sadie just likes to really give recognition as a big one. The next question asked was the employee evaluations and how they handle those. Don said they do those on a yearly basis, and they do it by a job matrix. Sadie said they also do theirs on a yearly basis, but the employees will see quarterly how they're doing, rather than just at the end of the year being like they did a really good job or they did a bad job in one spot. And then Brittany also said hers was actually every 6 months, so theirs is a little bit more often than the other two were. And then I asked them what their challenges and rewards were based on being a sales manager. Don said his was he loves to, or his biggest challenge is to ensure the motivation of employees. He just wants to, like, make sure that he's doing the right job, but he doesn't want to upset people. But he also said one of his favorite rewards is, like, people coming up to him and being like, oh, thank you, like, you're the best, and, like, making him feel like he's actually doing a good job being a manager and actually helping people. Sadie said that she likes to her hardest challenge is to demonstrate courage, because she said that even if she's having a bad day, it's hard for her to, like, hide that emotion. And she said she's actually becoming more and more open to not letting that happen. So because that's one of her biggest downfalls, and she said being a leader is like one thing that she really, really wants to do. But her biggest reward was getting the results that she wants, because she loves, like as Don does, like when people come up to him and they were like, oh my gosh, thank you, like you like really helped me out and stuff like that. It's just getting great results is what Sadie likes. And then Brittany's was she loves to like her biggest challenge is how to motivate her employees, just like how Don is. Like she just wants to make sure she's doing it right and not doing anything wrong. But her biggest reward is seeing the development of her employees and how everything is going about, and if they need help, they come to her right away, just as Sadie's and Don's were as well. And then their dislikes and likes of working at the company and their management. Don said that he loves seeing customers leave happy. There's nothing better than like having a customer like walk out and they're just smiling as if they had like great customer service. And he said working with a corporation, it's really hard. This is one of his dislikes. It's really hard to like they can't do bulk orders because they're a corporation, and that frustrates a lot of customers because like say that there's a wedding or something and they really want like a lot of flowers for the wedding. Like they're technically not allowed to do that, so they have to call store to store to see if there's like enough flowers they have and they can get it shipped over, because it really aggravates a lot of customers. And Sadie said her likes were to working with great people. She said she loves her team environment, and there's nothing better to like to come to work and know like she's not gonna dread her employees, and like she actually has fun when she's with her employees. So that's one of the things she likes. One thing she dislikes is working on holidays, because Sadie really likes hanging out with her family, but she said, hey, it's retail, it happens. Like, you gotta work on holidays because Black Friday comes around, and now we're open for Thanksgiving, so gotta work on those holidays you don't really want to. And then Brittany said her likes is working with store personnel and making sure, like just like Sadie, that like they're doing great and they enjoy working with Brittany, and Brittany's employees enjoy working with her. One of the dislikes, she said she doesn't like doing the administrative duties, such as the accounting and the books and all that fun stuff. But no one likes to sit at a computer all day and look at that. They'd rather be out on the sales floor and making people happy. And what I've learned from this whole experience and my sales class in general is I never realized how important it was to be a leader versus a manager, and that's one big thing that I've learned. Is because no one wants to be told what to do and bossed around. Because I've been in a personal situation where she was technically my boss, but she was also my manager. How she just seemed to like boss me around and had me do everything for her like I was a little puppet, and no one wants that. I'd rather be led and felt more comfortable in the situation. And another thing I did realize is there's a lot of ethical dilemmas, like we read in the book, and also talking with my 3 interviewees. Ethical dilemmas happen all the time, like a customer gets upset, or like you have problems with your sales associates. Those always happen, and you just have to like think on your feet and make sure you handle it in the correct you just handle it correctly. Also, the use of internet in the sales force is really important, such as like just like advertising as well, like how Don does the email capture. Like people get their coupons based off of that, and that'll make them come back, and like buying things online is always good too, because I know like Target and Michael's does online buying now, and like their online ads. And also most of corporations now are doing like apply online, so the internet is a big thing for sales. And I never realized the importance of training until this. Like I know that Don and Sadie talked about like how important it is to like train their employees to make sure they're like following, like doing the online training and getting the right orientation and understanding what they're doing, so that the profits are rising and the revenue's going up instead of like their expenses going down. Also the different form of leadership. There's like the district manager, the store manager. I never really realized all like the big difference there is. Like Sadie has like her different like team members and like team leaders and things like that, and how important it is for everyone to like have their specific duties in order for the corporation to be its best. So that is my sales manager presentation, and thank you.